Our journey begins in the early Victorian era, a time characterized by a strict moral code and the influence of the Industrial Revolution. The mourning rituals during this period were particularly unique. When a loved one passed away, it was not uncommon for the bereaved to wear mourning clothes for up to 2 years, with strict protocols dictating the color and fabric of these garments. The Victorians had a curious practice of creating mourning jewelry, pieces often made from the hair of the deceased. This was seen as a deeply personal way to remember a loved one, and such items were cherished and worn long after the mourning period ended. As we move further into the Victorian era, we encounter another peculiar practice: the Victorian obsession with beauty standards. Women, in particular, were expected to adhere to a specific ideal of beauty. This often involved the use of harmful cosmetics, such as lead-based makeup and arsenic wafers, to achieve a pale complexion. The pursuit of the perfect hourglass figure led to the widespread use of corsets, often laced so tight they caused serious health issues. Now let's turn to the entertainment of the time. The Victorian era saw a rise in the popularity of freak shows, exhibitions of people with physical anomalies. These shows were a common form of entertainment, with attendees marveling at the freaks of nature. Also popular during this time was the practice of taxidermy, the preserving of an animal's body for display. This was not just a hobby, but a symbol of status. A well-stocked cabinet of curiosities was a sign of wealth and sophistication. As we reach the end of the Victorian era, we see a shift. The strict moral codes begin to loosen and the fascination with the macabre starts to wane. The practices of the past are seen as excessive, and a more restrained, understated approach to life and death becomes the norm. In conclusion, the Victorian era was a time of oddities and peculiar practices, all deeply rooted in the societal norms and values of the day. From mourning rituals and beauty standards to unusual forms of entertainment, these customs provide a fascinating insight into a bygone era. However peculiar they may seem to us now, they were a reflection of the time and culture in which they existed. A time when the line between the morbid and the magnificent was often blurred, creating a unique tapestry of Victorian life. So the next time you find yourself perplexed by a Victorian oddity, remember, it's just a glimpse into a time when the peculiar was commonplace. A time when the macabre was fascinating, and the bizarre was beautiful.